do the thing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Star Trek Adventures. We are aboard the USS Kvasir, heading towards the Gamma Quadrant with this amazing cast of talented peoples who will be entertaining you for about the next hour or so. Now, remember, we use strong language and strong themes, so if you've got little ones around that you don't want to hear crazy stuff, I'd put them to bed now. Let's jump into this. When last we left our intrepid crew, you were all getting back on the ship. You'd had a few drinks at Quark's. Everything was going good. We are starting a brand new day. Everybody has woken up with whatever level of hangover you would like to have. All decks are reporting in. Everybody is accounted for. Everybody is ready to go. The only thing that everybody is waiting on at this moment is the captain to provide that beautiful ship-wide, just, morale-boosting speech as you all head to the wormhole.
Well, first there's the sound of her dropping something, God knows what.
So there's just a ridiculous amount of clamoring happening.
Look, if ship's comms could have a mic squeal, everyone would be getting that right now.
You know what?
Mafi wakes up in the Jeffries tube from the mic squeal and bangs his head on the top of it. It's like, oh, no.
It's definitely a feedback moment, like, in the movies when they tap on the microphone. It's just so horrendously loud.
David has a moment as she's carrying her Roctigino as the squeal happens. It just tips her off balance and she starts just stumbling, but while trying to keep the Roctigino from spilling. So 5 other things knock over, but not a drop of that Roctigino is spilled.
Good morning, everybody. We are heading to the Gamma Quadrant today. We all have had our dossiers for a week. We know what we're doing. Let's do it.
Wonderful.
Dr. K4, can you meet me in my ready room?
Yes, Captain,
Galen.
on the way.
Galen is completely sober and at his station.
Burke is looking surprisingly chipper and also at his station.
Amafi will probably wander in not late, but definitely close to not being on time. And he comes in, kind of straightens out his uniform, and he will go to his science station and just, stand at the console for a little while. And he'll be like, computer, can you dim the lights in my area by 20%, please? Thank you.
I love this crew. So as the doctor is proceeding to the bridge to meet with the captain, Zek is staring at the captain, just bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, eyes wide open, just staring. Captain, I'd be so good to you. Would you like me to take the ship into the Gamma Quadrant while you get checked out by the doctor?
Actually, no, I would like you first to take one step back.
He takes one step back.
And then I need you to explain to me why this morning most of what I had were different reports and forms and questions about whatever this garbage you've brought on my ship is.
Yeah, that is Ferengi business.
This is a Federation ship.
Correct.
Yeah. Correct. Oh, God. Whatever it is, you can't use that much ship space. You need... What did you bring on my ship?
as I said, it is Ferengi business. That is not my personal belongings. That is all from the Grand Nagus, who, I might provide this information to you, even though you should already know, is sponsoring this endeavor.
Okay. Where are we taking it?
I have to point out for a second that we had double hand palms. It's amazing. Picard would be proud. Well, you see, it is items, many various items that we will use to establish trade and, buy our way through the Gamma Quadrant as we might need.
Oh, all right. Well, then you know what? And she's going to just pick up the data pad with all of the crap that needs to be filled out pertaining to his shit and just hands it to him.
He takes the pad from you.
It better all get logged and sent to wherever. I just don't want to hear about it again.
Done. You're the one that brought it up in the first place.
Thank you.
Anything for you, Captain.
Clink, clink, clink.
Yes, the doctor arrives on the bridge as the two of them finish talking. Zek is now... His eyes have left the captain and is now locked onto this amazing doctor who has just entered the bridge. Can you, just for a brief second here, Dr. K4, can you describe your character for everybody?
K4 is relatively tall, probably right around 5'9", 5'10". Looks like your bog standard frickin' Vulcan, pointy ears, bad hair. With the addition of several cybernetic enhancements to both eyes, different types of enhancement, jawbone, back of neck, one metal arm.
Look at the ears on that one.
Just ignore him. Hi, Doctor. Did you settle in all right?
Yes, Captain. Found the med bay without any issue at all.
You had all of the equipment you needed and requested.
Yes, Captain.
Excellent. I have a headache and probably a bad one. Please make it go away. And she said that and looked at Zek when she said it.
From what I understand, it is likely that both yourself and several members of your crew are experiencing what is known as a hangover, i.e., you are too dehydrated to run your body's systems effectively. The cure for this is going to be time, electrolytes, and increased intake of water.
Can I have an aspirin?
It's a rather old-fashioned remedy, but it may take some of the edge off the headache.
Stares at them in MD. Thank you.
Even a dentist knows that.
And once again, the captain would absolutely not notice or catch on if anybody was staring and waiting for an introduction. She just
Just off in her own world.
Kirk doesn't need an introduction. He's just observing.
Wait, is this actually happening on the bridge? I thought this was the captain's ready room.
No, Zach derailed her from escaping by being Zach.
Oh, then Amathi is over by tactical, like right next to sorry, brain is just all of a sudden exploded. Basically, he's over by tactical and he's kind of crouched down a little bit because he's never seen an XB before. He's not seen many aliens before, so he's just kind of like watching, peering over the counter like a cat would.
Morning, Captain.
Not so loud, Galen.
Captain, he was barely above 5 decibels.
What did I just say?
It's all right. Captain, would you like me to maneuver things a little bit easier today?
By the book, I don't. Just, why is everybody asking me so many questions?
'Cause you're the captain?
Yeah.
I'll fly casual.
Meanwhile, the surgeon's going to be over in one corner, discreetly setting up an IV station.
Love it. You there, weapons master.
Tactical. Shields are up and we are ready to get underway, Captain.
Giddy up.
Aye, Captain. And I'll move us out at a reasonable pace and not strain our inertial dampeners in any way.
Brilliant. All right. Through the doctor's immense, just amazing bedside manner and care, the doctor captain feels a little bit better as you approach the Bajoran wormhole, which opens up, ready to accept the ship and begin your quests, your 5-year mission through the Delta or the Gamma Quadrant. And with that, you all proceed through. It is a very quick pass through. No weird alien shenanigans as you go through. The prophets, unfortunately, do not seem to speak to the doctor captain as you pass through. In fact, it's almost eerily silent.
Well, this is the smoothest flight I've seen through a wormhole.
I've only known about theoretical movement through wormholes. I mean, like, that's what I studied at the Daystrom Institute. It's actually it's definitely artificial. It's amazing. Yeah, by the way, I'm off. Yeah.
Your reaction time appears to be a tad, unusual for a member of your species at your approximate age. Is it possible that you suffer from the same malady as our captain this morning?
Only slightly. I'm getting better, though. But thank you. I appreciate it.
I would suggest checking on Chief of Engineering. I imagine she could use some of your administrations this morning.
Perhaps call first.
Meanwhile, in engineering, Commander Davin, how are you holding up as you enter into your work area?
Actually reasonably well this morning. She is actually somehow procured a second mug of Rectogino. She is almost done with the first. and proceeds into basically like, get the morning reports and all that.
Your day shift crew is already down there. They're hard at work, tapping away on consoles and monitoring systems, doing the typical day-to-day work, and they pass you off their reports and everything being in order, ready to go, all that good stuff. Everything's within parameters. Nothing seems to be like screaming for your attention at this moment.
Have we gone through the wormhole at this point, or is this a little bit slightly in time in reverse?
It's still, you're on your way to the wormhole at this point, for your character.
Well, if everything is tip top and ship shape down there, she will go up to the bridge to basically check through the operations panel up there just to make sure that accurate readings are coming through up there, and because it's been a while since she's been through the wormhole, and well, the light show is magnificent.
Right.
Plus, check in with our fellow other crew members.
Right. All right. You head up to the bridge. The moment you step off the turbo lift, Lieutenant Kurrick, smoke and sparks begin flying out of your weapons panel, your tactical panel. Lights are flickering. It is shorting out like nobody's business.
Oh, well, that's new.
And like,
Lieutenant, did you make your panel too excited or something?
after a few seconds of smoke, it actually bursts into flames.
Well, it's fine because we have fire suppression systems on board. We do have fire suppression systems on board, yes?
We should.
They come standard.
None of them activate.
Okay.
There should be an emergency extinguisher built into the console.
Yep. So I'm going to look around for the activation of the emergency fire suppression system within the console.
You get the fire out. However, the console is busted.
We just left.
Berg is going to curse several times under his breath in Romulan before opening up the panel to see what he can do.
Opening the panel, a nice thick smoke kind of rolls out left over from the fire. You can see many of the circuit boards are completely just melted into mush. There's some wires that are frayed here and there. It needs some TLC.
I don't think isolinear chips are actually supposed to be in that kind of state. Amathi takes a couple of steps back away from the console.
Yes, Lieutenant Grade Amathi. Yes, that is correct. Davin will come over, somehow totally distracted by this breaking of her ship from the good doctor on the bridge somewhere, and will just lean down and be like, "What did you do to it?"
I did nothing.
We just left.
I'm aware.
She's gonna start glaring at Zek.
Oh yeah, because it was my fault.
What were you doing last night?
Ferengi business.
Whatever, did you procure stuff? Are you why this has happened?
I can
Captain.
neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my god, Zek!
Captain, what would the XO have to gain from sabotaging a ship that his father is directly funding?
Exactly.
So he says. You didn't go to school with this guy.
What now? What do you mean the Grand Nagus is sponsoring this trip?
Since when do Federation starships require funding? I thought we didn't use money.
They don't.
There are certain items aboard that needed securing.
Can I do a diagnostic on what might have caused the overload?
Sure, yeah. Let's go with an insight and engineering.
Okay. I do have a focus of electroplasma power systems and flight control systems.
Perfect.
Would either of those apply?
Yeah. I would say I would say either of them, really.
I also have a focus in shipboard tactical systems.
I rolled 2 4s.
Beaut. So, yeah, the two of you are kind of looking down into this thing, and you both notice very clearly two very separate problems. Now, Commander Galen, you notice that this was very clearly caused by a deliberate power surge. And what Lieutenant Kirk notices is that there is a very discreetly hidden little box that, through your years of tactical expertise, you know this as a very small electromagnetic pulse device. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. So between the two of you, you have figured out that this was number one, very clearly sabotage. And number two, meant to look like an accident through an electrical surge.
Right. Galen will go back to his piloting duties, and so definitely with sabotage, right?
Absolutely. We should immediately check any other critical systems panels just to ensure that there are no other devices.
Mafia is actually going to go over to the operations panel that connects down to engineering and whatnot and start looking over it.
Okay.
Computer run a diagnostic of the bridge operations for the last 5 minutes.
So it runs a diagnostic. Electromagnetic surge detected in tactical console. Commander Davin, as you're heading towards your operations console, Amathi, in his very, exuberant way, kind of dashes over and goes to touch buttons.
Mafi?
Yes, Commander?
Watch over my shoulder and give me a hand, huh?
Okay, fine. He takes a step back. I was just trying to be helpful, Commander.
Yes, you're very helpful. She'll run a fuller scan on what might be considered more sensitive systems for signs of strange devices that shouldn't be there that match what they were mucking around with.
Love it. So everybody who would like to help contribute to the search, go ahead and roll daring and security.
Ooh, okay.
2 1s.
Nice.
Ooh, I got a 7 and a 5.
I got a 6 and a 20.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
And a
Well
3
then.
and a 12.
3 and a 12.
Yeah, I got a 4 and 11.
All right. So for the most part, the search is going great. You are able to isolate and detect no less than 8 other devices placed throughout the ship on critical systems. Things like life support, auxiliary life support, transporter, pretty much like the big ticket things. Thanks to Commander Galen's 20, however, the moment you detect one in the shuttle bay, red alert activates as one of them detonates and starts a fire. Doctor, your communicator chirps. Doctor, this is Lieutenant Vestra in sickbay. We've got people coming in from the shuttle bay. 4 or 5 injured people reported.
Affirmative. Begin triage. Start listing. On my way.
Suddenly, Davin notices the doctor, stares for a moment, and then goes right back to her console like she saw nothing.
I saw nothing. Now, Lieutenant Kirk, you had 2 1s. Now, your console was broken, so your search wasn't exactly the same as everybody else's. Yours was more of a hands-on approach. And by that, I mean you ripped the device out of your console, pulling it out and getting a better look at it with your amazing double crit. You very quickly ascertained that this device is 100%, without a doubt, Klingon made.
I'm going to inform the captain that these devices appear to be Klingon in origin. Further testing will be needed because looks can be deceiving, but for the time being, this is what they look like. I'll need to dispatch security teams to comb over the ship.
Feel free to use whatever necessary and see if the computer can recognize any of those components anywhere else on the ship.
I'll find the secondary tactical station, check that over very thoroughly.
I'm going to tie that in with your double crit. It is not booby trapped.
And from there, I am going to feed the computer the information on the device, calibrate internal sensors, and begin sweeping for any further devices as I'm dispatching my security teams.
Beautiful. So that task is being resolved. Doctor, you enter into sick bay and you can see there's 4 or 5 people in there. They have like electrical burns. One of them has a mask on from smoke inhalation. One of them is in critical status. So they don't know what to do to help this person. So this is where you come in. I would like for you to roll daring and medicine as you take charge.
Okie dokie. I have a focus in emergency medicine.
Beautiful. It's almost like someone read your character sheet and knew what to throw at you.
What? No way. I got a 2 and a 6.
That's amazing. Applying all the proper hyposprays and techniques that you know through your emergency medicine, you are able to stabilize this crew member. And they kind of look at you wide-eyed, oxygen mask on and everything, and just says, Romulans, and passes out.
That seems like a problem. So the first thing I do is going to be stabilize everyone else on the med bay, just to make sure that all the however many patients are stabilized enough so that the junior docs can do what they have to do. And
Okay.
then I'm going to go back to the bridge.
Later, taters. All right.
You're stable. I'll be right back.
All right, you proceed back to the bridge. It's at this point the ship comes out on the other side of the wormhole, and the security teams are taking out all of the devices, collecting them all together, and they chirp back to you. What would you like us to do with these, sir?
For the time being, we're going to have to get them as far away from critical systems as we can. We'll have to use a level 10 force field and a little bit of grit and ingenuity.
Should we put them in engineering?
No, absolutely not. Take them to the undamaged cargo or the undamaged shuttle bay, erect a level 10 force field, and that should keep everything safe until we are able to get down there and examine all the devices individually.
Aye, sir.
Lieutenant, did any of your people find devices in engineering?
Excellent question.
They actually found 3 of them in engineering.
Davin's like, I'll be right back, because she's going to go check out which 3 spots in engineering they were stowed.
I mean, just if you want to check yourself, you can, but they will also report it if you would like.
That'll be fine.
So one of them was located on the main control panel in engineering. One was located on the warp core itself. And one was located in a Jeffries tube that leads away from engineering. That one was actually directly tied to the replicators.
Do we even have any Klingon staff on board, Captain?
Do you?
Sure. This is the Federation, Jesus.
This ain't my ship.
There's a half Klingon boy down on 7. Like, I don't know.
He's the only one.
I mean, they're easier to spot than they used to be.
Not wrong.
With all that hair.
What is happening?
I remember the good old days when they didn't have the ridges, and it was a lot more interesting trying to figure out which ones were the Klingons. It's usually the ones that were shooting at us at the time.
I'm sure it was interesting.
Wait, I thought the whole entire thing... Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
It may interest both our tactical officer and our captain to know that one of the patients in the med bay reported seeing Romulans rather than Klingons.
Huh.
Is Keurig up on the bridge right now, or is he? He's in the
computer. Initiate a scan for changeling DNA.
2 changelings identified on board.
Computer, identify if they're crew members or not.
1 changeling listed as Ensign Reynolds.
I guess we're sending. We're either going down to scoop up Ensign Reynolds, or we're sending the team down to scoop up Ensign Reynolds. What are the locations of the 2 changelings on board?
Ensign Reynolds is in his quarters. Second changeling, not on board.
It just scanned for changeling DNA.
Computer, have there been any unauthorized transports?
Airlock 7 has just been opened.
In a wormhole? Well, there are more creative ways to commit suicide, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Computer, are we in the wormhole?
This is not a simulation.
Well, you said it was a really absurdly smooth trip. Almost unbelievably so.
I wouldn't do that to you again.
Boring, in fact.
Once was enough.
Is this a telepathic picture print?
The captain wakes up in DS9.
Twice as bad of a hangover.
No,
So,
but yes, this is not a simulation. You actually have just left the wormhole.
Well, the shields are still up, so it's going to have a hard time getting much of anywhere until we drop shields.
Can we polarize the hull?
Wow.
I mean, it's theoretically possible. It hasn't been done in quite some time.
The Enterprise used to do it all the time.
I'm certain I can figure it out.
Well, if they're outside and think they can survive, there might be a way for us to short circuit that plan. Unless someone would like to go outside too.
Because don't they have isn't the transceiver array up actually on the hull?
You built this
Yep.
ship.
Yeah. Get that anal retentive about it?
Okay.
'Cause
I'm going to prepare to polarize the hull.
And I'll help him.
Beautiful.
And I help.
It's
And I don't know if
changeling bake, and I helped. Go ahead and roll daring and daring and engineering. The both of you.
Would jury rigging apply here?
Absolutely.
What are the
Would
risks
improvisation
involved
apply?
here?
What was that, Kirk?
Would improvisation apply?
Absolutely.
What are the risks involved?
For the second time, as they keep just mashing keys.
I got a 2 and a 5.
All right, 2 and 5.
Uh, 15 and a 9.
15 and 9. All right. I like how they're just completely ignoring the captain.
Well, I think she was asking you.
I think I was asking anybody. Are there risks
risk-
involved?
Not
Any
really,
risks
Captain.
are
No, there isn't.
minimal.
As long as I don't need to tell anybody what we're doing for their own whatever.
No.
Safety, Captain? Their own safety.
Safety?
Sure.
All right. So you both polarize the hull. So what I would like each of you to do is roll 3 damage dice apiece. Let's see what happens to this poor, poor changeling that was just trying to get by in life.
Wrong ship.
Yeah, you're right.
Should have brought a towel. Sorry, bro.
Quit crossing the streams.
I got, looks like a crit and 2 successes. Yes.
Yep. Well, that was so 2 damage and then 1 effect. And then Commander Davin.
I got 2 blank sides and then a one.
All right.
One.
So 3 damage and 1 effect. Not enough to kill him. So the effect is that the changeling gets so just polarized with the hull that it returns to its molten form. Still alive, just a puddle on the ship now.
Can we get a teleport lock?
I can work on that and get it behind a containment field if you want, Captain.
If you can create one that can contain it, and if you need my help, I think I could assist. I haven't had much experience with changeling biology, but I've studied it in the academy and read a few journals.
Yeah, Mafia will go over to the station and start, basically accessing the transporter to get a lock on the changeling in its molten form, as well as also doing the calculations for a containment field to keep it contained.
Okay, so this is actually going to require 2 people to do this. So, Amathi, you're going to roll daring and science, and then Commander Galen, what I need you to do is a daring and con.
Okay.
Because you are attempting to, as we all learned from the Star Trek movie, it's not the ship that's moving, it's space.
Yep.
Doctor, you arrive on the bridge while they're doing this. Everybody's just kind of like hammering away on their consoles, like just tunnel vision, except Zek, who is a Ferengi XO. He's the first officer, and he's just like sitting in his chair with his leg up, like Riker would always sit. He's just like looking around, watching everybody.
So,
Oh no!
Did you get another freaking 20?
No. I got 2.
He crashed us into another
I am
wormhole
literally
somehow.
the best pilot you could possibly be, but I still rolled 2 20s.
That's amazing. Both nacelles fall off.
We need those!
No.
We just left. We just left.
We just left. Warp core eject activated. No, I'm just kidding. We need that.
We need that.
So
I'm hoping that the 2 1s that I rolled will counteract whatever fuckery just happens here. Because I literally rolled 2 1s.
I love this.
Amathi jumps over and slaps Galen and fixes it.
It's okay, Jeremiah. It's okay.
Like
It'll be
literally
okay.
scratch his fucking face.
All right. So, Lieutenant Commander Galen, you are attempting to maneuver the ship in a way that would allow Amathi to lock on to this formless being on the hull of the ship. And as you are doing this, you start getting all kinds of strange, erroneous readings on your console as it flickers and flashes. It's almost as if another EMP is going off, but you know that those have all been collected. It's at this moment that you see readings on the console very, very briefly that an ion cloud has completely engulfed the ship, which is shutting down the nacelles and causing all kinds of electronic fuckery. Just as the ship kind of loses control, Amathi is able to teleport the changeling into the containment field. As you do so, I'm assuming you teleported him straight to the bridge, or?
Oh, no, he's going into the fucking brig.
Okay. So none of you...
There's a potentiality that this changeling is responsible for the sabotaging of the ship. Amafi may be naive, but he ain't dumb.
Lieutenant Commander Kirk, you need to get down here quickly. You have to see what's happening.
Kirk leaves his console and immediately heads down. On the way, he badges in and wants to find out what deck he's going to.
You just heading to the brig. Pretty standard. We'll say you just kind of instinctively know.
Yep.
Is anybody reporting in to the captain?
No, you're left in the dark on all this.
Well, she knows that they were trying to transport the changeling because that was her command, and the doctor just got on the bridge. So she's going to tell the doctor to expect a changeling to be brought on board.
Well, no, Amafi would have been announcing things as we're going along. It's just like, oh, by the way, Captain, I got the changeling into the brig behind the containment field. We should be good on that.
Doctor, would you like to go and assess the status of this changeling that I had them polarize in space? It's alive.
Galen will have reported the captain that we just drifted into some sort of ion field.
And then around that time is when we'll notice that stuff's powering down?
Yep.
But do we still have comms?
Yep.
Is she in engineering, Davin? Or did you stay on the bridge?
I think she was still on the bridge, but at this point, if manhandling the power systems is best done to engineering, she'd basically be like, let me go check the power situation, Cap, to see if I can compensate for this fucking ion storm.
Yeah, jiggle the switches.
Just for you, Captain, just for you.
Do the IT thing.
We just left. Why?
I like this ship.
You seem really chill for somebody that could totally die at any moment.
It's exciting.
Or at least you're not trying to proposition me for a date. So just continue being useless.
Done and done.
If you would be ever so helpful, Commander Zach, you could see if you could jury-rig the tactical console to actually work again.
I'm going to try and use basically just thrusters, the most basic stuff, to maneuver us back out of the ion cloud, if that's possible.
Beauty. Roll daring and con, please. Dr. Kirk, the two of you reach the brig, and you can see contained in the one of the cells is this pool of liquid that kind of rises up as a Klingon, trying to hold its shape, but then falls back down. and tries to rise back up, but this time is a Romulan, and then falls back down. Like, it keeps trying multiple forms, but it can't seem to hold its shape.
I got a 5 and a 1.
Ooh! Exactly what I was hoping. Not the 5.
Finally, not a 20. Yeah.
Oh, no.
My luck today is just...
Commander Davin, you are in engineering. You are able to roll. Give me a. Let's go with a daring in engineering to help Commander Galen get you all out of this ion storm. This is gonna be good.
8 and a 16, so one beneath.
All right. You are able to surge enough of the ship's power into the nacelles that Galen, with the most basic maneuvers, you're able to get right to the edge of this ion storm when a bolt of power hits one of the nacelles. Just all the energy, all of it, just shoots off the charts, and the ship involuntarily enters warp.
What can I do to get us out of warp, Pronto, since it just went without a headache?
Well, were the inertial dampeners working at that time?
They're always on. We would be paced otherwise.
That's what I'm asking.
I'm so scared.
Well, there was this thing that happened during a test, and now I'm very always concerned.
Oh, goodness.
It
So
have a certain elegance to it.
you can attempt to basically cut all the power with a control and engineering. Now, Lieutenant Galen, to attempt to not like fly into an asteroid or something, you can roll control and con in an attempt to steer this thing while in warp.
Computer, how fast are we going?
Warp 9.999.
That's not good.
Would-
Yeah, I got well below on both. So my control and command con is I have to roll under a 17, and I get a 12 and 11. So
Perfect.
Does my warp core mechanic specialty count here?
Absolutely, it does. Now, while all of this
Excellent.
is going on and we've got rolls going, Dr. Kirk, what are you two doing with this molten changeling?
Well, it stands to reason that it's going to be difficult to interrogate without vocal cords. So, Doctor, do you have any specialty in communicating with beings incapable of vocalization?
I have a hunch you would not like my answer.
There's already very much I don't like. What are our options?
Well, primarily, changelings regress to this sort of state when they are injured. So we could let it recover enough to regain something resembling a solid form. I could attempt a melding technique, but that would require contact. And I do not foresee that being an option.
No, it stays in the containment field. I'm going to report this to the captain at the bridge. Let them know that our guest will need time to rest and recover before they're capable of being interrogated.
Can I assess the changeling's condition?
All right.
I.e., what might make it more stable?
Right. Go ahead and do control and medicine. And while you're doing that, we're going to pop back over to engineering.
There were 2 successes. I rolled underneath the 15 I needed.
Perfect. So between the two of you, you managed to cut the power. So it is coming out of warp, but not like instantly. You're basically drifting through a warp stream right now. But Galen's beautiful rolls are allowing him to hold control of the ship and keep it from completely falling apart. Now, while this is all happening, Amathi, you're getting readings on your science panel that you are inadvertently tearing very large holes in subspace. The ship drops out of warp finally, and you are all face to face with a massive M-class planet that has absolutely no information on it. Amathi, you are able to quickly ascertain that this is a pre-warp world. It has extensive colonies all over the planet. But what you are also detecting is that these colonies have something very similar to the Black Plague from Earth. And that is where we are going to end our episode for this evening. Thank you all very, very much for joining us. Thank you to these amazing players. I loved the faces at the end of these episodes. Like, what just happened? We just left. We need that on a t-shirt. We just left.
We just left.
I was at my station. I was over at my station.
Okay, continue being useless.
We weren't even supposed to be here.
Wherever here is, we've got to figure that out.
Honestly, my favorite part was, can we polarize though?
The questions are the best. We ask the hard-hitting questions around here. Well, thank you all very much, and join us next month as our exciting Star Trek Adventures USS Kvasir continues. Thank you all. Bye!